Well, I'm reading something about 10 easy ways to save money on your power bill. You know, we're in the LIHEAP season, and that's been a challenge for many of us here lately because Congress has done a lot of suspension on the amounts of monies that we can receive to help you. If you've heard of sequestration, I think that in your life now you can experience its meaning. It means a cutback on a lot of programs and a lot of funding that helps a lot of people as well as corporations. So let's talk about the easy ways to save on your power bill. If you're like me, you've watched your power bill grow and you're wondering why. Well, it's because of the cost that it takes to deliver power into your home. So I've begun to practice some of these tips. One of them is to turn off the light in the room that you're not using. That one is something that my parents used to really say to me. Also, to unplug electronics. You know, those of us with cell phones, even when you have your charger in the plugger, oh, it's burning up some power there and it's setting some therms or some kilowatts on your meter. So we want to try to do as much as we can. If you're going to unplug the phone, unplug the entire unit. Now, that one is a good one. The other thing is, if you're going to use your dishwasher, use it with a full load. Don't just put a few dishes in there. You better watch out how those dishwashers really run up the bill, too. In fact, I only use mine once a week. I try to keep the smaller plates or the smaller loads washed with a sink drain right there to get it dry and some do-it-yourself. Well, you know, I grew up without a dishwasher in the home. When my parents were raising us, we took turns washing dishes, and we might want to practice some of the old school measures of saving money. Also, you know, you've seen these little curly light bulbs. Well, they cost a little more, but guess what? They last longer and they burn less electricity. And if I were you, I would invest in a few until you could buy more. But see, when you're leaving lights on in the house, you know that that bill is piling up. These light bulbs kind of reduce some of that. Well, Joyce Dorsey wants you to also learn how to use your thermostat. In this LIHEAP program that we have, we find that a lot of people don't know how to use a thermostat. They will set their temperature on 90. Well, that means that your furnace is going to run all the time. 80, your furnace is going to run all the time. 72, it's going to go off and on. And believe it or not, on some of your warmer days, even when it's in the 60s, your furnace may not come on and off as much as if you had it on 90. Who needs 90 degrees all of the time? The same thing happens with the air conditioner. So you need to set your thermostat between 68 and 72. No more, no less. Because if you do, you can already expect a high bill. Now, one other thing I just learned, because I love light to come in the house, is that the blinds, that really, if you, on a sunny day, your blinds open, well, your temperature is going to go up and you won't need your thermostat as much. On a real hot day, you keep your blinds closed and the heat won't come through the windows as easy. So I'm saying to you some things that you probably already know, but guess what? If you're like me, you were not practicing what you preach all the time. But I remember my father saying, you don't own the power company, so let's make sure that we can pay the bill. How about that? The last thing I want to do is remind you that the LIHEAP season is opening, but it's opening a lot slower. And that is because the funding is not coming in at the timeliness that it used to come. That's due to a lot of the governmental funding problems. So let's remain friends, and when you call in, remember that we're trying to help. We want to make sure that you get the services you need. But the general population probably will not begin to make applications until the 1st of January. That is the first of the year, 2014. So we want to welcome your participation in the program. We want you to take advantage of the Academy for Life. We want you in our Saturday school because adults who do not have their GED usually do not produce children who will get their high school education. The surveys and the studies and the research do show this to be true. But we want to make everything that seems like it's impossible real possible right here at FACA. Why don't you join us? Join us in everything we do and stay in touch with our website. Thank you for tuning in.